my fellow agents. This is Jason Huval. I'm the broker and founder of Central Metro Realty. Today we have this, I've made this video to share with you the upcoming changes, the forms, and kind of how we are going to handle them as a brokerage and kind of what to expect. I know I'm not going to get to everybody's questions. I'm going to try to do the best I can. We did have a meeting with a couple hundred agents, and we had the CEO of ABOR. She was really gracious to give us the time. And so I saw a lot of those same questions come there. I'm going to try to answer those here. So when does all this happen? NAR says the 17th of August, but each board is different. Each board has different, for example, August 13th is my primary board, Austin. That's when they're making the changes on the MLS system. So what does that mean for everybody? Look, let's just start prepping now. Let me show you kind of a preview of what it's going to look like, what the changes are going to look like. It's really simple, actually. On the MLS system, the change, every single MLS system in Texas is going to do away with this commission. All of them have some version of this, right? What's to be paid. And instead, it's going to be replaced with a seller-paid concession. Some money that's going to go to your buyer. And the buyer can use that money to pay commissions. Maybe they could use it for new carpet, whatever they're going to use it for. But that's where there's going to be a disclosure here that commissions are going to go away. It's nothing to do with commissions. It's going to be money going towards the buyers for use of their fees. And so what do I need to do? I have a listing right now. That's number one. What needs to happen? Go ahead and use the new listing agreement. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. TXR 1101 is the new listing agreement. There's only two major changes on here. One is about the compensation. There's the broker's fee with compensation for other brokers. I think that's pretty straightforward there, or without compensation for other brokers. There's also a section 11F regarding your authority to disclose possible contributions here. Again, I think this is all pretty straightforward. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this listing agreement, but what should I do to answer that question? I have a listing. When do I need to do this? Now. Go ahead and do it right now. It's not going to hurt. Have your conversation with your seller. Get this new listing agreement signed, and I know I can hear you sighing, like, I got to get that done. I'm sorry, guys, but that's the cleanest way. There is an amendment you can use to it, but from as your broker, I highly recommend the cleanest thing, get a new agreement. It's going to be the same thing on all your buyer's rep agreements. You're going to get a new buyer's rep agreement from your buyers or your tenants, if you're a tenant rep. Central Metro has put out 2 new forms. I'm going to just briefly touch on them here, but there are trainings that I'm going to have up on these forms specifically. And you can find these forms on our website, this centralmetro.net, under resources and forms, Texas real estate forms. I added this buyer's rep form. This is a 1-page, man. It's the short form. It's really nice. It's super easy. I'm going to show it to you here in just a sec. And then addendum confirming broker's compensation. This is a transparency piece. This is where we're going to show all parties what we're getting paid. So we're going to be super compliant. And so if you're doing a buyer or a tenant side, you're going to need this form, this buyer's rep form. This is buyer or tenant rep. I actually need to fix the name on that. But buyer tenant rep form. And then this addendum for confirming broker's compensation, again, this is going to be used on every single transaction. If it doesn't matter which side you're going to on, we're going to have on the side of this that you're on, everybody's going to sign this form. So I'll give you kind of a preview. So let me show you our buyer's rep form. These are going to be eerily similar to the Austin Board of Realtors. We made a couple of changes to it with our attorney. We wanted to include that you could even just like a per showing fee if you wanted to get paid per showing. But again, this is just a quick preview. I'm going to talk more about this form in another video. I'll go into detail. So the changes, buyer's rep form, right? So this is a tenant or buyer's, I keep forgetting to say the tenant too. Tenant and buyer's rep form. Again, we got it down to 1 page. You can still use the long form. I think it's like 4 or 5 pages. This is just super clean and easy. It's not as intimidating too for your buyers and tenants. The other form, this is, like I said, this is a transparency doc. That's all this really is. This is showing who is paying, how much they're paying, and then everybody signs off on it. Everybody signs off. The agents are going to sign off. The buyers and sellers are going to sign off. This is as transparent as we possibly can be for our commissions. So those are the major changes that are happening, guys. So just a quick recap then, right? So on the listings, Commissions are going to go away, but that's going to be replaced here by some kind of concession dollar amount. It's not going to be a percentage, it'll be a dollar amount. And before, I guess the way commercial, I've been doing real estate for a little over, we're right at 20 years now, I guess. And, commercial deals never have, even commissions aren't even listed anywhere. It's part of the negotiation in the deal. That's what we're going to move into. You're going to be negotiating who's paying what, how much, all of those things, I imagine, as part of your deal. Now, your buyer's rep is what's going to protect you and make sure that you get paid whatever the rate is that you decide to charge. But yeah, so that's the major change you're going to see on the MLS system. And then the other is the requirement for us to have to use buyer tenant rep forms on everything. And so those are the major ones. And just to get a couple of questions out of the way, I know we had somebody that said, well, what if, I put, $10,000 as my compensation, but the seller, they offer $15,000. What do you do? Well, you can, your buyer's rep is a contract, and contracts can be amended. So you can amend that as long as everybody agrees and everybody's going to sign off. You're good to go. You can change that up. And so that's really it, guys. Those are the major changes. I know there's going to be other questions. Here I tried to kind of condense it down to what I thought the main points were. But you can always leave a comment if you have a question about it. We'll get back to you. You can also email me anytime, jason@centralmetro.com. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions that you have about that. Or, of course, you can call us on our support line anytime as well. So I hope this really helps, guys. I don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody really had thought. It's just going to be, this will become, habits for us like second nature in no time, using these new forms and these new processes. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and marketing guy always tells me, like and subscribe, please. Thanks again, guys. Y'all take it easy.